Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. There's four secrets you're going to be learning with this. The first secret is the secret strategy to find popular products without creating your own brand or listing. The second secret is the secret strategy to discover local suppliers with products that are ready to launch in just one day. The third secret is the secret strategy to eliminate all the competition. That way you can dominate the market. Wouldn't that be cool to be able to get rid of the competition? I'm going to show you how. Then the fourth secret is how to get products without spending a penny of your own money. When I got started, I had lost my job. It was during the Great Recession. No one would hire me. In fact, my water was about to get shut off. I was even about to get evicted. And when I had no money, I was struggling to figure out I needed to find a way to make money to pay my bills. And I was struggling. And I even applied for a janitor position to scrub toilets. And I couldn't even get that job. No one was hiring. It was very difficult. And I asked them, I said, hey, how come I didn't get the job? And they said, well, we had over 100 people apply. And chances are we probably didn't even review your application because we just picked some random ones at the top of the stack and then interviewed a few and picked someone. So that was when that light bulb went off in my mind where I realized, oh my goodness, this economy is so bad that I can't even get a job scrubbing toilets. And there's lots of other people looking for work as well. I need to find a way to make my own income. And so where there's a will, there's a way. So what I decided to do is take some products that I had from around my house and sold it on Amazon. And I remember within my first day, I said Amazon, I meant eBay. I listed my first item on eBay and I sold it and it was $70. Now, to me, that was amazing because I didn't have any money. I was broke at that time, and $70 just felt like thousands of dollars to me. And so what I did is I realized, okay, if I could do this on eBay, why don't I just list some more products? I kept listing some more products, and I thought, okay, if I'm doing well on eBay, what other websites can I list on? And I started doing research, and I found this little book website called Amazon and started listing on there. And then I continued selling on Amazon and I started growing my business as Amazon started to grow, but it changed my life, right? There's that saying, happy wife, happy life. It really made our life happy because, we went from struggling and not knowing how we're going to pay our bills, about to get kicked out of our house with the water getting shut off, to now having a thriving business. So if I can do this, really anybody can do this because I went from no money to success. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain my strategies of how I did it. That way you guys can replicate it and do it too. So what this has done for me, and the reason why I like to share this with others, is because it's life-changing. This has changed my life, and I like seeing how it changes other people's lives as well. Almost kind of like, I'm sure if you guys ever find something really cool, you always go tell your friends about it, right? If you find this amazing restaurant that has like amazing food, you want to go tell your family about it and your friends because it's so good. People like sharing the things that has brought a lot of joy in their life. Something that's brought a lot of joy in my life is Amazon, and it's changed my life, and I want to help it change yours. So let me just show with you how it can change your life. This is what it's done for me, and this is what it can do for you. The first thing it's done for me and what it can do for you is to live life with more freedom. It allows you to choose what hours you want to work. It allows you to work anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection. In fact, that picture you see right there, that's me in my RV in the Florida Keys in the middle of winter. When everyone's, up north freezing cold, I'm there in the Florida Keys. Now, that was a cloudy day, so that's why I decided to work on my business because I don't want to go out when it's storming outside in the Florida Keys, but luckily that cleared up later and I was able to go have fun. So you get to choose the hours you work and when you want. And what's cool about this is no more alarm clock, no more commute, no more a boss deciding when you work, when you don't work, then you have to go get all this permission from stuff. None of that anymore. You are your own boss. In fact, when a lot of people have success and they're able to quit their job, I used to tell them, take a hammer and let's break that alarm clock. And that was kind of our big thing that we used to do to celebrate. But of course, over the 10 years, things change. And now a lot of people use their smartphone as an alarm clock. So I don't recommend taking a sledgehammer and breaking your phone. But basically, Amazon's going to give you guys more freedom. The second thing that Amazon has done for me, it allowed me to live debt-free. I was able to pay off my home. I was able to get an RV, travel the world and not have any debt. And so it could allow you to become in a better position financially. The third thing is it gives you more time to do with what you love. You know, I've traveled in the last 2 years to over 45 states. And that's what Amazon's allowed, because I don't have a job that requires me to be at a desk every single day at a certain time. It allows me to travel because I get to do what I want, when I want, with who I want. And so it's amazing the lifestyle it can give you. The fourth thing it's done for me, it allows me to live more luxurious, live a little bit better lifestyle. This is me on the world's largest houseboat at Lake Powell, and it's awesome. It was a lot of fun. But here's the reason why I love it so much and what I want you guys to do. So this right here, this is me making a donation for $30,000. This is what I used to make in a year. Now I was able to donate it to help out others. And that's what I like about this, is that Amazon allows you to give more. So if I teach you guys how this has changed my life and it changes your life, can you commit to one thing to me? If I show you these things, will you be willing to give more? You know, donate to a charity that you like, or help others have success. But if I help you have success, are you willing to help out others? And that's the big thing, is I want to help you, but I want you guys to pass it on and help out others. Say yes in the chat if you guys are willing to help out others. So I love donating. This is a donation I did back in November 8th. It's just so fun to be able to help people out. So today's training, the whole purpose of it is I want to help you guys accomplish your goals in 2025, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys have made New Year's resolutions. You want to change your life, and I want this to change your life. So that's what today is going to be about. I see on here, yes, committed to helping out others via charities. Someone says, yes, yes. Jonathan says, yes. Maggie says, absolutely. Awesome, guys. You guys are amazing. So let me show you how this can change your life. And I want you guys to change other people's lives as well. So let's first focus on getting you to accomplish your goals this year. So to have success, I love this quote. It says, success is like a journey. Many dream of destinations, but never arrive because they simply don't take the first footsteps. The one who reaches the most destinations found the traveler with the shortcuts. Well, guys, I know the shortcuts, and I'm going to reveal to you the shortcuts so that way you can get there faster. But the thing is, you have to be willing to take that first footstep. I can't help you have success if you're not willing to take the first footstep on your journey. So if I show you the shortcuts, are you guys willing to take that first footstep? Go ahead and say yes in the chat. So the first action I need you guys to do, the first step, is remove all distractions, right? I know it's fun to be on your phone and, you know, play games and do things like that, but you need to remove all distractions. So put your phone away, unless you're using your phone to take notes, right? It's important to take notes, or, you know, grab a pen and a pencil, a piece of paper, and take some notes. And the reason why is because what I'm going to share with you guys is going to change your life. Why is it important to quickly find products now? Here's the reason why. Q1. For those of you that aren't aware, Q1 is where there's huge profits on Amazon for a few reasons. Number one is at the beginning of the year, you have new government budgets. Who is the biggest customer in the world? The government. The government spends more money than anyone else in the world. And what's one of the places they spend money on? Might surprise you, Amazon. Also, too, a lot of corporates get, a lot of companies and corporations, they get new budgets for the year. And so what do? They start buying all these things that they've been wanting to buy now that they have the budget for it. Also, too, a lot of people just got a bunch of gift cards over the last few weeks from the holidays. So what do? They're going to take those gift cards and start spending it on Amazon. And then Valentine's Day, I don't know if you guys realize this, but Valentine's Day, people spend $25 billion just on Valentine's Day alone. And that's a few weeks away. And then on top of that, you have tax refunds. Now, this is more so for those in the U.S., but if you live in other countries, you can sell in the U.S. as well. But the average American gets $3,000 to $5,000, depending on what state they live on, in tax returns. What do people do? They get that money. The first thing they start doing is going out and spending it. That's what a lot of people start doing. And then St. Patrick's Day, which is not that far away either, They're estimating that St. Patrick's Day is going to see an increase of $1 billion in sales this year. And you look at a lot of economists right now. A lot of economists are expecting the economy to boom. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but just in the U.S. alone, this is incredible. One of the things that Trump did is that he got over $3 trillion worth of investments to come into the U.S. this week. And he's saying by the end of the week, probably even $6 trillion. That is a lot of money. And where do people spend their money? Amazon. Amazon get more money spent on Amazon than any other platform in the entire world. So as this money starts pouring in, where's it going? It's going to Amazon. And you can get that piece of pie. In fact, there's really two types of people when it comes to Q1. Those that spend their money on Amazon and those that make their money on Amazon during that time. So my question is this year, which one do you want to be? The one that spends their money on Amazon or the one that makes their money on Amazon? Go ahead, tell it in the chat and put on there, spend if you want to keep spending money on Amazon, or put make if you want to be the one that starts making money on Amazon. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'd love to hear your guys' comments. So secret number one, finding. The secret strategy to finding popular products without creating a brand or listing. So let's talk about that. How to do it. How to find these popular products where you don't have to create a brand or a listing. Let's talk about that a little bit more. So there is really 4 ways to sell on Amazon. I see on here, Maggie says making, Jonathan making money on Amazon. We got someone says making money. Awesome. So it sounds like a lot of you guys want to start making money on Amazon. So there's really 4 ways to sell. You get these gurus out there that are trying to tell you, go do drop shipping. Well, here's the issue with drop shipping. Drop shipping is where you have an item that's with a supplier, and then when a customer buys on Amazon, you have them ship it straight to the customer. Well, the issue with drop shipping is that you're not going to get sales, right? When you go to Amazon, I'm sure you guys have noticed this if you do shop on Amazon at all. You see that free 1 to 2 day shipping, and then you see those other products out there that might take like a week or 3 weeks to get there. Well, when you're doing stuff FBM, meaning that you're having stuff shipped to the customer, not from Amazon, Amazon's going to say, it's going to arrive in 7 to 10 days, versus if it's something in Amazon's warehouse, then it's going to show it's going to arrive in 1 to 2 days. So you want your inventory to be in Amazon's warehouse. So that way you're going to make a lot more sales, because think about it. If you yourself want to buy the items that arrive in 1 to 2 days, other customers out there are just like that as well. So drop shipping doesn't work well with Amazon. People don't want to wait 7 to 10 days to get their items. They want that free 1 to 2 day shipping. So drop shipping does not work. Then you get these gurus out there. They're like, go do retail arbitrage, where you go buy stuff at discount at stores and turn around and sell it. Well, here's the issue with retail arbitrage. The issue with retail arbitrage is that when you go buy something at a discount and then turn around and sell it on Amazon, all you're going to have is a retail receipt. For a lot of brands out there, Amazon wants to see an invoice to see that, okay, you're buying it from a legitimate source. They don't consider Walmart, Costco, Best Buy retail receipts. They don't consider that to be an invoice. So you're not going to be able to sell those products. So retail arbitrage does not work. Then you got wholesale. Wholesale, this is where you go buy products that already exist on Amazon, which means you don't have to create a listing. This is the fastest way to get sales, because you're selling on existing listings. So you don't have to take pictures. You don't have to do photos, descriptions. You don't have to do any of that. You just sell on a listing that is already selling well. Now there's over 350 million products on Amazon. So we don't want to sell something that's not selling well. We want to go after those that are selling well. So wholesale, and I'm going to show you in a second how to find the ones that are selling well, but wholesale basically is great for beginners because you don't have to do marketing. You don't have to create a listing. You don't have to do that. Then there's what's called private label. Now, private label, this is a little bit more advanced. This is where you do create your own listing and your own products. The benefit here is you're going to get 100% of the sales because you're not sharing that product listing with anyone else, but it does take a little bit more time. It does take a little bit more capital. So that's good more long-term. So I do have a course that does talk about private labeling, but today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the wholesale option and not the private label option, because the wholesale option is one of the fastest ways to get things going right away. So today's training is going to be about wholesale, selling existing products. Again, if you decide you want to do private label, I have a whole course that talks step-by-step how to do private label. So you're probably wondering, well, what are people buying on Amazon? Are they buying a product like this? Where's Baldo? Hair growing pills? Are they buying stuff like this? Arm and Hatchet, right? They've got little Chinese writing on the bottom. Clearly that is some, private label. Are they buying a private label product like this? Or are they buying a private label product like this? Pret Sweat, I don't know about you, but I don't think I dare drink that. I don't think I want to drink Pet Sweat. Or are they buying something like this? Memories of Butter. Or how about this one? You got, if you look right there, a popular product on the left side, and then on the right side, a private label product, Dr. Perky. I mean, what you guys want to do is there's no guessing, right? We don't want to just guess what is selling. We need to know what to sell, or else we're going to lose money. No guessing. And so what we want to do is find popular products. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I find the best products for 2025? Well, you got to do product research. So to find the best products, you need to use the best tools. So I'm going to show you guys right now. Let's dive right in, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. And as a reminder, I'm going to do a Q&A session at the very end of today's call. So I'm going to be happy to answer your questions. All right. Now I'm seeing the yeses come in. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on in to this product research. So what we're going to do is this tab right here in AMZScout, I'm going to come here to product database. And so on product database, it has, millions of products in here, and we can come here to where it says more filters. And from here, you can choose categories. So let's say you really like, baby products, right? Some of you moms out there might be like, oh, I like baby products. Some of you guys might be out here saying, oh, I like sports. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or any of you gamers out there probably like video games. Whatever category interests you, you can choose whatever category you want. My two favorite categories, if you want to know what I really like home and kitchen because it's a great recession-proof category. Same thing with toys and games. So I'm going to select those two, but you can pick whatever category interests you. You click apply. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set a range of a minimum of $15. So I find once you start going below $15, it's not as profitable. But then once you start going above 60, people kind of have to think a little bit harder whether they actually really want to buy something that's over $60. So I like it to kind of be in that impulse buy range. And then I like the weight I like to put the weight as under 2 pounds because I don't want to sell something that's very heavy because that costs a lot more in shipping. Then the estimated revenue, I'm going to put a minimum of 10,000. It's just kind of a ballpark range. I'm willing to sell stuff that goes less than 10,000, but I'm just going to put that as kind of a minimum threshold. Now, I don't want something that's going to have a lot of returns. And generally, if people are not satisfied with the product, they're going to return it. So put your ratings a minimum of 3.5 stars. And I'm going to put the number of sellers a max of 1. So that way I can find those that have a little bit less competition. So by putting the estimated revenue and find stuff that has high demand, by putting something with not a lot of sellers, I'm looking at stuff that doesn't have a lot of competition. Then from here, I'm going to click on Find Products. And as you can see, it's now searching out of the millions of products in the database. It's researching to see what products meet this criteria. And so we're going to give it a minute to load there. All right. So I'm going to close this real quick up at the top. There we go. All right. Much better. So now we can see these different products here. And let's just take this Flex Edge beater for KitchenAid. Now, let me show you what I am looking for and what I'm not looking for. I don't want to look for something that's very generic because most likely that's probably like a private label product. I want something that looks like it's very reputable. I want to sell a very reputable product. So as I'm going through this, you know, it looks like these KitchenAid products keep coming up, a beater for a KitchenAid. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to click on it. It's going to pull it up on Amazon here. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to copy this real quick. We're going to say beater for KitchenAid. So I'm going to put this up here. We're going to go to the logo here, do a search. Beater for KitchenAid. Now I have all these results here. Now, when you look at this, you know, as a seller, you're like, what is all this, you know, what am I going to do with this information? Well, here's what's really cool is that we've got an extension here that when you click on it, it's going to take those products and it's going to put it in a way that we as sellers can see. So as sellers, we don't want to see all that stuff there. What we want to see is the numbers. How well is it selling? How many competitors are there? We want to see them line by line. And so what's really awesome is that AMZScout has taken all the stuff on that page and put it in a format that looks well for us sellers, the information that we want to know. So for an example, I can take a look at this product here, and I can see it says hot, so it means it's selling well. And there's a private label score, and then there is a reselling score. Now, the private label score, I'm not going to get into that today because I have a course that actually talks about the private label score that teaches you more about private label. So what I'm doing today is I'm focusing more on the reselling. So that's what I'm teaching you guys today is about the reselling one. So we're going to focus on this reselling right here. So the reselling here, this one is rated a 10. These ones right here are zeros. These ones right here are 10. So what I like to see is I like to see that number above 7. So an 8, a 9, a 10, those are really good for reselling. So if I click on it, what it does is it tells me the score. So again, we're not going to focus on the private label on the left. We're going to focus on the reseller on the right. So the reselling on the right, it shows us that it has low competition, and then it shows us it has high demand. So that's why this one is a good one to sell. So I want to show you that there. Let's see. Oh, looks like some of you guys can't see it. All right. Not sure what's going on with Google Chrome, why it's not showing you that. Let me go ahead and close out that. Let me click on it again. Well, it's still not showing on the screen. Let's see. All right. So it looks like for some reason, Google Chrome is not showing the pop-ups. Not sure why that's happening, but Google Chrome for some reason not showing it. So generally it pops up and it shows you what the breakdown of the score there. Let's click on, and what's cool about this is that you can then see on the profit calculator. Let me click on that. Does that show? Nope. The profit calculator is not popping up either when I click on it. It's showing on my screen, but I'm not sure why you guys can't see it on your screen. Let's try this. I'm going to stop my sharing and let's reshare it. And let's see if that makes a difference. All right. Turn the screen share back on. All right. So now I'm going to open up the calculator and let's go back to the score. Let's see if that works for you guys. All right, there we go. Now I think it's showing now. All right, so I think we got it fixed now. So let's go back to this one. All right, now I'm going to click on profit calculator. Let's see. It's not showing up on your guys' screen. That's interesting. Okay. So not sure why on the extension, why it's not showing up for you guys, but we'll just keep moving forward. For some reason, when I do the pop-ups on the extension, it's not showing you guys. But basically, I have this calculator. If I click on the calculator, what it's showing for me is that if I were to put my product cost as, let's say it cost me $3. It estimates that my profit on this is going to be $3,221 per a month. Tell me in the chat if you were selling that product and your profit was $3,221 per month. Tell me if you feel like that would be a great start for you. If you think it'd be a great start, type in the chat, say great start, good start. Tell me what you think in the chat. If you think making $3,200 every single month, month after month after month with just one product, tell me if you think that would be a good start. Now, this is just one product. We can continue to add more and more products. So pretty cool how this works. I can even check out the niche history. I'm going to click on that, and then it pops up, and then it shows me a chart of how it's performing over the months. So I opened up another tab in Google Chrome. Apparently Google Chrome didn't show that. So here we are. As you can see, when I open up the new tab, it shows all these egg beaters. And then what I do right here is I open up the extension. And this is what I was trying to show you guys earlier. So as you can see right here, product score of 10. If I click on the 10, then it shows me low competition, high sales. And then we've got the profit calculator here where I can put in my unit cost is $3. And then as you can see, it then breaks down how much money I'm going to be making per month. So this one, for this particular product, $4,742 a month. So a lot better than the other one we were just looking at a second ago. But I'm seeing you guys saying great start. Yes, great start. Good one. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for your comments. And then up here, I can click on niche history. This is where I can see, is it trending up? Is it trending down? Basically, you can see on this has pretty good, solid history. So this would be a great product to sell. So this product, awesome product to sell. Great one here. And then when it comes to finding a supplier for it, you can click up here on suppliers. And then I can see what it's selling for. Like this supply right here, $2.86. And I can kind of see what selling suppliers are selling for. This one's $2.90. So then I can take that number, put it in the profit calculator, put in here, what my costs are, $3 per unit, and then it'll calculate my profit. So pretty cool how the tools work, how it can help us find products. So as you guys can see, pretty simple, pretty easy for us to find products. Now, what's great about this is if I decide, okay, yes, I want to sell this product, all I have to do is, actually, it's not going to, I clicked on open up a new tab. I'm going to close this so you can see it. All I have to do is just come here and list it on this product page. So I can then say, it looks like it was this product right here. So as you can see, the pictures are already here, the title's already here, the description's right here. I don't have to create a listing. I can list it on this page because as you can see here, there are multiple sellers here. If I click on other sellers here on Amazon, I can come here to filter it to see how many are selling it in the warehouse, how many are selling it in new condition. So really, I'd only be competing against one seller called Everything Kitchen. So I'd be competing against one other seller that's selling this. So you can even filter it down here on the left-hand side. If I take out new, as you can, and I take out those that are selling it not FBA, you can see there's other sellers, but they're not going to get in the buy box. They're not going to get the buy box because you have to sell it in new condition, and Amazon gives you a higher priority if you're selling it in prime to get that buy box right there. So pretty cool. That's how you could easily find a product that has high demand, low competition. In just a matter of a few minutes, just like that, we're able to find something that would make us over $4,000 a month in profit. So now that you guys know how to find a product, let's talk about how to get the product. So what you're going to want to do is find a supplier for the product. So the secret strategy to discover local suppliers with products ready to launch in just one day. So tell me in the chat, say yes if you guys are ready to learn this, how you can get products from local suppliers. Because I know that there's all these gurus out there that are like, go buy stuff from China, go buy stuff, overseas. But a lot of people realize that there's a chance that you can actually get products locally that you can launch in just one day. In one day. Very simple and easy to do. I'm going to teach you how to do this. And it's going to be great. So I'm seeing Jonathan. I love Jonathan's enthusiasm. Jonathan says yes with a bunch of E's and S's. We got yes. Maggie says yes. Awesome, guys. So let's go ahead and dive into this. A secret strategy to discover local suppliers with products to launch in just one day. Someone says awesome to learn. Great. So let me teach you that. So here's the big problem. Most sellers are buying overseas, and then it's being shipped by boats, and then it takes months to arrive. I've got the perfect solution for you guys, local suppliers that you can buy from today. So here's why you shouldn't buy from overseas suppliers. I know that all these gurus are saying, buy from China, buy from China, buy from China. That's what they keep telling you. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't want to. Here's what you want to do instead. And here's the reason why. Number one, slow shipping times. It's called opportunity cost when your money is tied up into a single product while you're waiting for it to arrive. Then it gets expensive, right? You got shipping, tariffs, taxes, all these fees, all that adds up. And plus, for those that plan to sell in the US, what's going to happen is you're going to see some tariffs come soon, which means that it's going to cost even more from buying overseas. But if you're buying locally, you're not paying the shipping. You're not paying the tariffs. You're not paying the tax. You're not paying the fees. It's actually cheaper to buy local. Then it gets complex. You have to do freight forwarding, these forms, import laws. Then also to communication, right? Language barriers. I'm sure you guys have had that where you communicate someone from another country and, you know, you're awake when they're asleep and then you send them a question. And then what happens is they respond, but they respond when you're asleep. And then you see it when you wake up and you realize, oh, they misunderstood me because of the language barrier. Then you have to send the message again. And there's all this communicating back and forth, which takes forever because, you know, they're on completely different hours in the language barrier. Then you get major delays, right? You get products get stuck on ships. You miss the season, all kinds of issues there. And then holidays. I don't know if you guys know about China, but just in a few weeks, they're going to have their Chinese New Year. They shut down the country. A lot of factories and a lot of suppliers shut down for almost a month, right? For those of you that are in Europe and Canada and the US, for many of you, a holiday is just celebrated in like a day. Over there, they celebrate, some of their holidays will last for weeks. So let me give you some examples of buying products from China. So this Amazon seller, they said, can I order some iPhone cases? And look what they sent right there. They sent that. What about this right here? They said, I did a Google search and read that toilet paper is popular. Can I order toilet paper? So what do? They sent them rolls of Google. I don't think Google would be happy if you're selling that on Amazon. And then you got this Amazon seller said to the supplier, I want to create a toothpaste better than Crest toothpaste. So what do? They sent them Crust toothpaste. Can you imagine that? Like, oh, I want to brush my teeth with Crusties, right? You know, someone says in here, don't forget the Chinese holiday up to 30 days. Absolutely. You are right. I love this one right here. I want to order effective mop to better clean up children's messes. Here's what they sent. Stupid child efficiency mop. Can you imagine like giving this to like your sister or your wife or someone like that? And you're like, hey, here's a stupid child mop. They would not be happy. I can't imagine their reaction. So the moral of the story is don't buy from China, buy from local suppliers. So here's the benefits of buying from local suppliers. It's cheaper. The second thing is it's better cash flow. Your money's not tied up for a long time. And so, you know, when something takes 3 months just to arrive to the warehouse on a ship, that means you can't do anything for the 3 months. Your money's tied up. And then it's an instant business. You can go in there to that local supplier and pick up the products today. So you can start sending it to Amazon and start selling it within one day. Then you also too have easy communication, right? They're on the same hours. When you're awake, they're awake. And they understand what you're saying and you understand what they're saying. You know, it's so great with communication. And then it's safer, right? You don't have to worry about trade wars, turmoil, viruses, the weather. You know, you don't have to worry about those type of things. And then you don't have to worry about fraud, right? Because you're dealing with someone local. You're not sending your money off to some country wondering, are they just going to take that money and run? But also too, and this is what's so important to me. If you haven't noticed this about me, I love helping people. And this is what I love about buying local. When you buy local, you're supporting local, you're creating local jobs, you're helping your community. Because here's what happens. When you take your money and you give it to a supplier that lives overseas, guess what? It goes to that country and it doesn't come back. But when you take your money and you invest it into a local supplier, that local supplier, guess what? They pay their employees, and then their employees go out and eat at a restaurant locally. And then that waitress that got the tip and paid to serve them then takes that money and pays her rent. And their landlord then takes that money and puts their kids into local ballet lessons. And as you can see, that money circulates and stays within your local community. And what that does, that's helping your neighbors. It's helping your community when you keep your money local. So I recommend buying from local suppliers. Help your local community. I'm all about helping people. And this is just one way you can help, is keep your money local. Don't send it overseas. Another thing too is you're going to get it fast, right? It's not going to be stuck on those ships for months. So you're probably wondering, okay, all these gurus say buy from China. So then how am I supposed to find these local suppliers? So let me show you how. You could go to your local Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce, their role is to take a local companies and other local companies and connect them together. So that way they can build relationships, which in turn helps grow the local economy. So local Chamber of Commerce, they're happy to help you out. Go to your local Chamber of Commerce. Another thing you do too is city lists. A lot of cities, they say, hey, you have a business in our city. If you got a brick and mortar warehouse or store, you got to register with us. So what you do is you go to the city and you say, hey, can I get a list of all of the businesses that are registered in the city as wholesalers, suppliers, distributors? I want to be able to connect with these different companies that have products to sell. And the city can give you those lists. Now, another thing you do, and this is fun, go into industrial zones where you have these big warehouses and just go in there and talk to them. Say, hey, I'm an online seller. I'm looking for more products to sell. I see that you guys have this warehouse here. Is it possible that I can buy products from you to turn around and sell online? And local companies love helping other local companies. So it's really great. Now, here's the thing you have to be careful of. If you live somewhere dangerous, like let's say, Chicago, or maybe LA, I don't know if I'd be driving around industrial zones, because I feel like you'd be ducking from dodging bullets or something like that. So if you live in an area that's not safe, don't do this one. Only do that one if you live in a safe area. Go to networking events. Networking events are fun. I really like networking events because with these networking events, businesses go there to connect with other businesses. And if they go there to connect with other businesses, guess what? They have lots of connections. So when you go to these local networking events, let's say you run into someone's insurance agent, not someone you want to buy products from, but guess what? They can help you. Hey, tell me more about your business. Oh, I sell insurance. Oh, you sell insurance? That's great. I'm an online seller. I'm looking for products I can sell. Do you know of any companies that maybe you've done insurance for that I could sell their products? Or let's say you run to the next person. They're an investor. Oh, you're an investor. That's great. Have you invested in any companies that I could sell some of their products? Oh, you're a builder. You build homes. Hey, have you built any homes for anyone that has products to sell? Or you don't even ask if it's a customer. You can just say, hey, do you know of anyone? Because people that go to networking events are very well connected. They know a lot of people and they can get you in contact with the right people. There's kind of that saying, right? It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Then you got trade shows. Trade shows are so much fun. A trade show that I go to almost every year, it's called CES. I go there almost every year, except for this year. This year I didn't make it, but I registered for it, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it this year. But I love going to trade shows. In fact, a fun one I love going to, it's coming up soon. It's called ASD. It's a huge trade show where there's a lot of popular companies there that have products that you can buy and sell on Amazon. But trade shows is a fun one because these are companies that want you to sell their products. That's why they're there at the trade show to say, hey, check out our products. You can resell these. And then there's Google Maps. Google Maps, you can go there and type in wholesale, supplier, distributor, and see who are some of these local suppliers in your area. And then you can go to Google, type in in Google and then type in your city name or nearby city names and see what shows up in Google. And then local directory. There's all kinds of directories, websites out there that you can use. And then another one is ChatGPT. You go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what's the contact information for the Chamber of Commerce? And as you can see right here, it gave us the contact information for your Chamber of Commerce. Go to ChatGPT. You can use AI and say, hey, show me some networking events. As you can see, ChatGPT came up with some networking events that we can go to locally. Then you ask ChatGPT, hey, show me some toy trade shows. As you can see on here, it mentions a few toy trade shows. Then you can ask ChatGPT, hey, are there any manufacturers? And then it gives us manufacturers. You can ask ChatGPT, what are some toy distributors in the USA? And as you can see there, it gives us a few on there that we can use. In fact, EE Distribution on that list, really good supplier, really good one to work with. So you can ask ChatGPT, but don't ask your cat about your cat suppliers. I love this one. The cat, I'm not going to ask you again, who's your catnip supplier, right? So ask ChatGPT about suppliers. Just don't ask CatGPT about your suppliers. So let's dive into the next secret. Secret number 3, no competition. Who wants to learn this one? Tell me in the chat. Say yes if you're ready to learn this one. So what I'm going to teach you in this one is the secret strategy to eliminate all competition. That way you can dominate the market. I'm going to show you how to do that. Tell me in the chat. Say yes if you guys are ready to learn that. And I see on here someone says absolutely good thoughts on local suppliers. Thanks for sharing that. I see yes, sir. Love that. Yes, with a big exclamation point. We've got yes. Maggie says yes. Jonathan says yes, yes. Love that. All right, guys, let's dive on in to no competition. So I'm going to reveal to you 3 different strategies that you guys can use. So you can pick whichever one you like, but I'm going to give you 3 different strategies that you can use. And the reason why this is so important is that when you're selling and you're sharing a page on Amazon, because you're not creating the listing, so you're sharing that page, that buy box. And so only one seller can be in that buy box, or when someone clicks buy, whichever seller's name is in that buy box, they make the sell. So what we want to do is we want to get that buy box where people are buying from us and us only. So why do you need to control the buy box? Well, here's what happens. The lowest price gets that buy box when someone clicks that buy button. And so when you start to get more sellers, what happens? It drives that price down. Everyone's trying to beat each other in price. But then also too, that means you get less sales because there's more sellers, lower price, less sales. And then here's the other issue is that when you're looking at this is that as you see that buy box, we don't want that to happen to us. So let me show you what you can do. So with AMZScout, what we do is the first step is we go to the product database. And with the product database, what's really cool is that we can, in the filter, choose that we want, less than one seller. And then you click on sellers and it will sort it to where it shows all the ones that have 0 sellers. So see there, I put a circle there so you can see it. So then what you could do is you take those products and then you list those for sale. You're the only seller, so you get 100% of the sales. So that's the first strategy, is sell out of stock items. And you're going to find those items using the AMZScout tool. If you guys remember, I showed you that tool a little bit earlier and had all this information. There's one on there that shows us the number of sellers. We just look for the ones that say 0. Strategy number 2 is, this one's pretty fun, is bundling. Bundling, the way you do this is you look on Amazon. So I'm sure you guys have noticed when you go to buy stuff on Amazon, Amazon say, oh, you're buying a popcorn machine. Here, buy popcorn kernels, buy a scooper, buy popcorn salt, buy popcorn bottle, buy a popcorn bowl. It suggests like all these products you can buy with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to use those suggestions to your benefit. So let's say you look at this camera right here. If you notice, it says you can bundle it by buying the camera, a memory card, a camera case. So what you do is you look at the suggested products and then you take those suggested products, buy all of those, and then you put it in a poly bag or a box. So basically you're taking it and you're bundling it together, selling it as one. And then the third step, what you do is you create the listing. And because you create the listing like a bundle, now you're the only seller, because other sellers are not going to try to figure out where to buy those products, and they're not going to try to bundle it. That's too much work for most people, like, trying to figure out where you bought all those to try to sell on your listing page. So they're not even going to bother trying to sell on your listing page. So this means that you are the only seller and get the buy box 100% of the time, because you create your own bundle. So you find good products that are good to bundle together, put it in a poly bag to bundle it as one, and then you create the listing, and then you become the only seller because it's your bundle. Now, the third strategy, and this is a fun one. I like this one. It's called exclusive rights, is what I call this one. So there's with this one, there's going to be 5 steps to get exclusive rights. So the first thing is go find a local company, right? Chamber of Commerce, business lists, industrial zones, all those things we talked about. Go find a local company. Then what you do is you go to them and say, hey, are you selling your products on Amazon? And then what you do is if they come back and say no, then you explain to them, hey, your competitors are selling on Amazon, and then talk about the opportunity. This is why it's important to have the AMZScout tool, because the AMZScout tool, where it showed you how many sales that product was making a month, what we do is we go to that company and we say, hey, well, I did some research and I found that your product right here is doing $10,000 in sales a month. And your competitor, or I guess your competitor's product is doing $10,000 in sales a month. Hey, there's also this other one. Do you know such and such company, your other competitor? Guess what? They're doing $20,000 in sales a month. You know what happens? Their blood starts getting blown. They're like, what? They're making that money? And also then they get that fear of missing out, where they're like, wait, my competitor's making all this money, but we're not? What? And it kind of gets them a little frustrated knowing that their competitors are having success, but they're not on Amazon. So then what you do is you say, hey, I've got some good news for you. I'm going to sell on Amazon for you, and I'm going to do all the work. I'll get your product on there. I'll manage the shipping. Now, technically, we're going to have Amazon manage the shipping, because Amazon will ship the products out to customers. Amazon will take care of customer service for you. Amazon will do all that for you, but we don't need to tell the brand that. We're just going to tell the brand, hey, look, we are going to manage everything for you. We're going to manage the product. We're going to manage the listing. We're going to manage all this stuff for you. So they'll be like, ooh, that's a lot of work. And you're saying, you know what? The best part is I'm going to do it for free. But here's what I want for you. 2 things. First thing is I want exclusive rights, that I'm the only one that can sell your product on Amazon. That's my first requirement. Now, my second requirement is I want this to be a partnership. So I want you to provide the products, and then when it sells, we'll split the profit. Now, here's what happens when you do that, and here's the genius in that, is that when you're asking them to sell it consignment-based, it costs you nothing. That means you get the products up front for free, and it's great because it creates no risk for you. Tell me in the chat if this is like, if you're learning something new. Just go ahead and say learning in the chat if you're learning these new techniques. If you had no idea that you could do something like this, go ahead and type learning in the chat. I'd love to hear that. So the first one, we just talked about this just a moment ago, consignment, right? Where you partner with a supplier and you do it consignment based. And what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of products, even in grocery stores, are sold consignment based. If you've ever gone to like a grocery store, like really early in the morning, like a big grocery store, if you notice, you go to the bread section, you're seeing another company putting bread on the shelves. If you notice, you go to the soda section, you're seeing a guy with a Pepsi shirt putting Pepsi on the shelf, or a guy with a Coke shirt putting Coke on the shelf. The reason why is that a lot of these bread companies out there, tortillas and soda and stuff like that, a lot of these retailers don't pay for the product. What happens is that it's stocked and put in there by these different companies, and then when a customer buys it, they split the profits. It's a win-win. So consignment is used a lot in retail. In fact, that's one thing that a lot of grocery stores use. So basically, the supplier provides the goods. when the retailer makes a sell, then they pay them back. So we can use that same strategy. Now, myself, as you know, I started with no money. I was struggling. And so because I need to figure out, okay, I finally found something that works. I need more money to really grow my business. So I went to someone I knew that was a millionaire, and he's a good family member friend. And so when I went to him, I thought, okay, I'm going to tell him about my business, and he's just going to write out a check and hand me this check, and I'm going to be in business. This is going to be awesome. I'm really going to be able to grow my business even further. But what's surprising is he didn't give me a check, and I was almost kind of disappointed because I'm like, wait, I thought you were going to give me money. Like, look at me. I'm doing really well. I'm making good money. I just need more money to really grow and scale it. And I was kind of disappointed first he didn't give me a check. But then what he did changed my life. He told me his secret for getting money. And I'll never forget this lesson. I want to share it with you guys because I think this can help you guys out a lot too. He said, you know what? You don't need my money. He says, you need OPM. I said, what's that? He said, you need to leverage OPM. I'm like, OP what? OPM, other people's money. And then he pointed out to me, he said, see those skyscrapers right there? He said, yeah. He said, do you think the person that went and bought it with their own money? And I'm like, no, that'd be a lot of money. He's like, exactly. What did they do? They went to the bank, and they went to the bank and they said, hey, I need to, buy this building here. And here's the numbers. I think it's going to do X amount of dollars in sales and, and so forth. So what do? They rent out all of that floor space. They collect the rent, and then they pay their monthly mortgage on that building. And then they keep whatever's left over. And that's how they make their profit. He said, same thing with a lot of companies. A lot of companies are either using the bank's money or they're getting investors' money, but they're not using their own money. He said, name anyone that's successful. And so I gave him a few names, and he pointed out how they use other people's money. Like, for an example, I'll give you a few examples here. Let's take Elon Musk, right? He started PayPal with investors' money. Look at Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, he started Amazon using investors' money, using other people's money. Look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates also, too, used other people's money. Steve Jobs with starting Apple, other people's money. This is the greatest secret of self-made millionaires and billionaires. You look at these different people, did Bill Gates have a lot of money when he started Microsoft? No. Did Jeff Bezos have a lot of money? No. Did Steve Jobs? No. Steve Jobs started in a garage. Amazon, if you ever look at the first picture when Jeff Bezos started, he spray painted the word Amazon on the wall. He didn't have a lot of money. They had to use other people's money, and that's what made them rich, by leveraging other people's money. And so he pointed out to me that the greatest secret of self-made billionaires and millionaires is they use other people's money to make them more money. So one way of doing that, and how I did it, is I used my credit card, because you can use credit, whether it be a line of credit, whether it be a credit card, a loan, you can use credit. So here's the issue. Poor people, they use credit the wrong way. They go use credit to buy like a TV, clothes, things that are not making them money. This is called creating debt, right? If you buy something that doesn't make you money, it creates debt. Rich people, on the other hand, they use credit the other way. They take that money and then they go buy things that's going to generate more money. This is called creating wealth, right? When you take money, and let's say you go buy, for an example, a vending machine. What happens? That's going to make you money month after month after month, because although you put that vending machine on a credit card, guess what? It's now making you money every single month. It's creating wealth. You go get a loan for a house, and then you rent out that house. Guess what? That's now making you money. It's creating wealth. You're using other people's money to make you more money. So rich people, the way they get rich is that they use other people's money to make them more money. So here's how this works. Let's say you use the bank's money for an example. You use a credit card. You buy $5,000 worth of products on your credit card, and then you turn around, sell it, and you double your money. Kind of like that product I showed you earlier. So you bought it for $5,000, and then you make, you let's say do $10,000 in sales. You spend $5,000 back on that credit card to pay it off. So basically, and most credit cards, if you pay it off in like 30, 45 days, guess what? It's free. They don't charge you interest. So you can go buy products, $5,000 worth of product, double your money, and then pay that card off. So you take 5,000, turn it into 10,000, pay the card off. Now you're left with 5,000. So what do you do with that 5,000? Reinvest it. Take that $5,000. Now you double it and turn it into 10,000. Then you buy the products again and resell again. Take $10,000, turn it into 20,000. You keep buying more and more products that you can double your money. 20,000, turn it into 40,000. 40,000, turn it into 80,000. 80,000, turn it 160. 160, turn it into 320,000. 320,000 to 640, and then 640 into $1.2 million. If you want to know how I did it, this is how I did it. And this is how you can do it too. So with the compounding effect, I used a credit card and I was able to buy inventory, pay it off. So that way it was interest free because I paid it off pretty quickly. And as you can see, you can use other people's money and use the compounding effect by keep reinvesting it and take $5,000 and turn it $1.2 million. And it was free. Here's a screenshot of it actually happening. So let me ask you this. If you use this same strategy, how would $1.2 million change your life? How would it help you accomplish your goals? Would $1.2 million help you accomplish your goals? Think about what your goals are. Would it help you accomplish your goals? Tell me in the chat if you had $1.2 million, say yes if you feel like that would help you accomplish your goals. So what are your goals? Think about that for a second. What are your goals? You know, if you had $1.2 million, where would you go on vacation? Tell me in the chat. Where would you like to go on vacation if you had $1.2 million? What kind of car would you drive if you had $1.2 million? Think about what are your goals? What would you accomplish? What about this? What kind of house would you have if you had $1.2 million? Tell me in the chat. I'd love to hear your goals. Tell me what your guys' goals are. Tell me some of your goals. I would love to hear it. Tell me about your goals. And think about this for a second. And it doesn't necessarily have to be vacation or cars. It could be anything. Whatever your goals are. What things, if you had $1.2 million, what would you do with it? I'd love to hear you guys' comments. Jonathan in the middle of nowhere. I'm guessing Jonathan would probably move to the middle of nowhere. That'd be awesome. You know, or travel, or I guess maybe vacation in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's great. You know, that'd be, and it's always nice kind of getting away from the city and, you know, where it's peace and quiet. Amy says freedom. I like that. It would be great to have freedom, right? Be able to do what you want, when you want, go where you want. I love Jonathan says, my goal is I want to be free. Wouldn't that be nice to have that freedom to do whatever you want, to, you know, spend money where you want, go where you want, and have complete freedom. I love that. These are great goals, and I appreciate you guys sharing that with me. So with what you're doing right now, how long will it take you to achieve those goals that you want to accomplish? With what you're doing right now, how long will it take you? Think about that for a second. I had a really good friend of mine. I was talking to him and I was asking him, I'm like, hey, if I gave you $1 million, what would you do? What kind of house, what kind of car? I asked him the same question. He's like, oh, I'd love to have a Lamborghini. I'd love to have a house with like a 3-car garage and the swimming pool. And he's telling me all this stuff. And then I asked him, I said, well, with what you're doing right now, how long will it take you? And he kind of looked at the floor and he says, you know what? I'll never accomplish it in this life. He's like, I don't make enough money at my job to accomplish those goals. And so I pointed out to him, I said, then this is why something needs to change. Because if you want to accomplish something, then you need to change it. Because the only one that can change your situation is you. You have the choice. You have the opportunity to choose what you want your life to be like. And, you know, if you think about it, someone that becomes, you know, a famous singer, they didn't just magically end up there. They decided, I want to become a singer. And then they started playing and, try to get in front of record labels, and they work to accomplish that. Someone that decided, you know what, I want to one day become a governor of a state. They didn't just become a governor overnight. What they did is they started campaigning and working towards that. You get to choose what you want your life to be like. So if what you're doing right now is not going to get you to where you want to be, then something needs to change. So how would you like to have my help to help you accomplish your goals? Amazon can help you accomplish your goals. I would love to help you. So tell me in the chat, just say yes if you would love me to help you accomplish your goals by using Amazon. Tell me that in the chat. I do. Someone says from earlier years. I see yes with a lot of yeses. Awesome. So here's what I've done, guys. I've put something together where I can help you guys. Here's Jessica. Jessica, would you like to replace your income like Jessica? Jessica said, I was able to quit my job in just 6 weeks. I was making $8 an hour. It used to take me 4 weeks to make $1,300. Now I make that in less than 4 days. The money is great, but more importantly, I can be at home with my kids and create special memories. Would you guys like to be like Jessica? Be able to quit your job in just 6 weeks? Do you want to know how Jessica was able to quit her job in 6 weeks? Wouldn't it be cool to have the same tools, the same resources, and be able to do exactly what Jessica did and quit in just 6 weeks? But see, for her, she says, yeah, the money is great, but more importantly, what's important to her is be able to be home with her kids, creating special memories. So for her, it's not just about the money. It's about being home and doing what she wants. John Yang, tell me if some of you guys feel like John Yang. John says, as a high school dropout, it's been hard getting good paying job over the years. I've tried so many things to make money online and failed, and again and again. How do you guys feel like John, when you feel like you've tried so many things and you failed and you failed? Well, here's what John says. He says, Ace taught me techniques that no one else seems to be teaching, and it works, right? You guys have noticed, I probably taught you guys mentioned earlier that you guys learned things that you didn't know before, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm teaching techniques that a lot of the people don't seem to be teaching. He says, finally, I'm making the money I've always dreamed of making. Lots of my friends with degrees are losing their jobs, and here I am without a degree making a fortune on Amazon. Last month, I bought a Tesla with cash, and now I'm working with a realtor to buy my dream home. I never have to worry about money again. Wouldn't it be cool, guys, to be like John, to be able to learn those techniques that no one else seems to be teaching, to have success, to be able to get a dream home, a dream car? Wouldn't it be cool like John? I mean, John, he's tried all these things and nothing worked for him. And then he found me, and finally he had success because I taught him the right way to have success.